tonight in the spotlight. Wisconsin is taking center stage in another presidential election, why it could be the tipping point for whoever wins.
And big implications why several Senate seats in Minnesota are getting a lot of attention from DFLers.
Plus, after a record amount of mail-in ballots were sent, what in-person voting looks like around the Northland.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Baki.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. Wisconsin is yet again the political epicenter of the election. The state could determine whether or not Donald Trump is elected to a second term or Joe Biden wins the White House.
Polls have consistently shown Biden ahead in the state that Trump won by fewer than 23,000 votes back in 2016. Capitol Bureau Chief Emily Fannin has you covered on how elections are historically close in Wisconsin and how the pandemic is creating new challenges for election officials.
Every 4 years, the nation's attention is on Wisconsin.
Wisconsin is one of 6 states political experts are closely monitoring, as it could be the tipping point for who wins the majority of the Electoral College. Elections have historically been very close in the state. Over the last 5 presidential elections, 3 of them have been determined by narrow margins, less than 1 percentage point.
It's just the nature of our divided state that makes us one of those battlegrounds. And we certainly saw it in 2018. It's not just presidential elections, it's the midterm elections as well.
In 2016, 22 counties in Wisconsin that had once voted for President Obama switched to Donald Trump. Republicans are hoping to hold on to these areas to lead Trump to another victory. Meanwhile, Democrats are attempting to regain control and rely more on the suburbs to expand where their support is the strongest, like in Dane and Milwaukee County.
I'm a suburban mom. We're worried about the economy. We are worried that this president does not have a plan.
I think Wisconsin's in for another surprise on Tuesday.
There's also a new wild card in this presidential election, the coronavirus pandemic, as Wisconsin continues to rank one of the worst states in the nation for COVID-19 infections, hospitalizations, and deaths.
We're one of the 3 or 4 states in the country that has the fastest growing number of new cases. So you put those two together, and we really are kind of the epicenter of this election right now.
Despite the pandemic, early vote totals suggest the state is likely to shatter 2016 turnout, as already nearly 1.9 million Wisconsinites cast an early ballot.
Staying in Wisconsin, a supermajority in the state legislature is on the line. Right now, Republicans control the state assembly and state senate. They're also 3 wins away in each chamber from a veto-proof majority. Republicans are hoping to tip a few seats in the suburbs of Milwaukee. There's also some seats of interest in our region.
The 74th Assembly District covers the Bayfield, Ashland, and Sawyer County areas. That's where Democratic Representative Beth Myers is clawing on to her seat, which she's held for 3 terms now. The Ashland native and former executive director is being challenged by Republican James Bolin. He's a business manager who ran against State Senator Janet Bewley in 2018 and lost. As we mentioned, this district includes Sawyer County, which voted for President Trump back in 2016 after going blue in both 2008 and 2012. But Myers did win her seat with 56% of the vote in 2018.
And the 73rd Assembly District, representing the Douglas and Washburn County areas, is also on the line. Representative Nick Milroy, a Democrat, is hoping to retain the seat he's held for 12 years now. But Republican Keith Kern, a local business owner and Superior City Councilor, wants to spoil that. Milroy ran unopposed in 2018. In 2016, Douglas County voted for Hillary Clinton, while Washburn and Burnett counties voted for President Trump. Minnesota is the only state in the nation with a divided government, but tonight that could change.
All eyes are on the Minnesota House and Senate races, where all 201 seats are up for election. CBS3's Emma Quinn has been tracking this story and the impact it could have.
This year's election is especially interesting, and like you mentioned, all the seats in Minnesota's legislation are up for re-election, and depending on who wins some of those critical races could have an impact on which party gains control of the state house and the Senate. Now, currently, the Republicans hold the majority in the state Senate by 3 seats. Meanwhile, the House is led by the DFL with 16 seats. And tonight's election is especially important, as upcoming redistricting could make legislative control even more significant. During census years, district boundaries are adjusted based on that updated population. And with different boundaries come different people with different regional values voting in each race. And with a divided government, what happens with redistricting will have an impact on which parties gain control in the future, something Republicans say they are concerned about.
And so our concern with complete Democrat control is that you'd see a lot of gerrymandering of the line so that they would create districts that would make it very easy for Democrats to win and very difficult for Republicans to win.
Meanwhile, DFLers say they plan to play fair and equal regardless of which party wins.
We're focused on with redistricting coming up is making sure that we have fair and competitive maps, and that no party, whether it's the DFL or the Republicans, has an unfair advantage as it pertains to elections.
Remember, all ballots in Minnesota must be turned into your clerk's office by 8 p.m. tonight. Previously, that deadline was November 10th, but that was before Minnesota's 8th Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that all absentee ballots must be turned in by Election Day.
Thanks, Emma. And there are a number of state legislative races to watch in our region tonight that could have big implications on party control. That includes District 5 in the state Senate, stretching from Grand Rapids to Bemidji. Incumbent Republican Justin Eichhorn is being challenged by DFLer and Bemidji Mayor Rita Albrecht. Eichhorn rode the red wave back in 2016, ousting Tom Saxhog by just 553 votes.
Another race Democrats are targeting tonight is the one for Minnesota's Senate District 11, which covers a large swath of the I-35 corridor from Pine City to Cloquet. Incumbent Republican Jason Rarick, a longtime Pine City electrician and former Minnesota House member, is being challenged by former Duluth news anchor Michelle Lee of Moose Lake.
There's also the fight for Minnesota's 7th Senate District, which covers the city of Duluth. There is no incumbent on the ballot. That's because Democrat Jen McEwen ousted Eric Simonson in the primary. McEwen is board president of the Damiano Center and an attorney representing workers with disability claims. Her opponent is Republican Donna Bergstrom, who was the first endorsed American Indian Republican candidate and primary winner for lieutenant governor in state history. Bergstrom is also a retired lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Marine Corps.
All right, let's jump over to Dave now for a quick look at the weather. Dave, it was almost hot out there today.
Yeah, warm enough to set some records and tie a couple as well. So let's get into the map and eye up those towns. International Falls and Ashland both set records. Ashland only by a degree, by a couple in International Falls. Hibbing tied, and in Duluth at the airport, that's 70. Is 3 degrees shy of the record, but still 70 in November. It was much warmer than normal today and likely will stay that way for a while as twin highs over the middle part of the U.S. bring sunny and warm weather perhaps through Friday, and the warmth will stay through Sunday, though the clouds will start to increase perhaps on Saturday. Short-term forecast, though, shows Wednesday will continue the warm spell, clear to partly cloudy sky. Morning start at 37 degrees, afternoon finish around 62, perhaps not as warm as today, but still warmer than the normal of 43. Once we get into next week, though, temperatures will crash, a resounding crash, back to normal and cooler than normal. I'll talk about that in more detail in a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. In Minnesota, there are now less than 2 hours to get your vote in.
Duluth city officials say it's too early to tell how many people have cast their vote so far, but they do say in-person voter traffic has been pretty steady all day long, and they expect it to get busier as people get off of work. CBS3's Leanne Valdez is live at one of the many polling locations across the city. That's the Coppertop Church in Duluth. Leanne, how are things going there?
Good evening, guys. Yeah, it's been pretty steady, and now more so that work is over for some people in the Duluth area. So we got here probably around an hour ago, and like I said, things have been going steady. But there's more time for you to go out and get that vote in, but there are some measures that you do need to know before you go to your polling place, and that's because of COVID-19. So number one is you need to bring a mask with you, and not just with you, you need to wear it while you're inside the building. There's also going to be some X's marked on the floor to help the voters stay 6 feet apart from the judges, and plexiglass barriers are in place throughout the entire room, as well as hand sanitizer stations, and pens will be sanitized after each use. Director of Administrative Services Chelsea Helmer says so far everything has been going smoothly today. And one thing that they found interesting is the number of people registering to vote for the first time this year, making the voter turnout astronomical.
So we have lots of staff that are running out to each of the polling locations and checking in with judges. I've actually been on the phone for the majority of the morning, checking in with folks. But yeah, from all accounts, we've had a lot of steady turnout.
Again, it is too early to get that exact in-person voter turnout number, but city officials do hope to have some numbers tonight for the 10 o'clock show, so stick with us. And the polls will be open, like we said, until 8 o'clock tonight, and city adds that even if you do get in line at 7:59 p.m., your vote will still count.
Still time to vote, and it's exciting to hear a lot of people registering to vote for the first time in this election. Thanks, Leah.
Meanwhile, rural polling places also saw some heavy voter turnout today. A reporter who voted here at Thompson Town Hall in Esco today waited an hour to cast their ballot. That was around 8:20 this morning. Lines grew even longer this afternoon with cars parked on the side of the road several blocks away from the polling place. A reporter says in past election years, they typically wait about 20 minutes to vote in Esco. Lines were also long in Rice Lake Township and Chisholm.
Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, this year's election is seeing record voter turnout. Coming up, we hear from voters why it was important for them to cast a ballot.
Today's record high is 73 from the year 1903, and that record will stand one more year because it was 3 degrees shy today at a high temp of 70, which is nothing to sneeze at, and we won't be sneezing probably for several more days. We won't be cooling down perhaps till the end of the weekend. We'll talk about the temperature timeline coming up right after our break.
Season 2 is
The
here,
Kelly
y'all.
Clarkson Show, weekdays at 3 on CBS3.
Warm up at Perkins with our new pot roast specials featuring our mouth-watering pot roast stroganoff, sizzling fajita breakfast quesadilla, savory pot roast melt, and more. Home-style pot roast favorites available now for a limited time at a Perkins near you, and always served safely, whether you dine in, order online, or get it to go. Nothing sweetens the season like a fresh baked pie from Perkins Holiday Bake Shop. Reserve yours today. Order now at perkinstogo.com.
The balances on your credit cards are worse than your yoga poses.
It's going to be a stretch to make those payments.
Call Consolidated Credit. They can lower your interest rates to get you out of debt fast without destroying your credit. The program works. Call Consolidated Credit. Call
1-800-322-8269. 1-800-322-8269.
Hello, I'm Steve Little with Bath Planet. For the month of November, we are offering free upgrades to a premium wall system for all your bath and shower purchases. All of our products are backed by the Good Housekeeping seal of approval and come with a lifetime warranty. You can still get one of our great financing options for low monthly payments or 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments till 2022. This offer ends November 30th, so call us today or go online to book your appointment. Bath Planet, out of this world service and down to earth price.
Real encounters with God are life-changing. Join us Sundays at 11:30 for The Message of Good Hope and learn how you can reach your highest potential through a relationship with Christ. Only on the Duluth CW.
Prime Appliance, the first with Black Friday pricing all month long during our Black November sale. To save you money and shop normal hours. In today's world, other merchants will follow our lead. What a concept, savings and convenience. Save over $1,800 on this Whirlpool Sunset Bronze 4-piece kitchen suite, complete with a side-by-side refrigerator, a slide-in electric range, a convection microwave hood fan, and an ultra-quiet dishwasher, now just $43.99. Prime Appliances Black November sales, the best place to save on appliances.
For breaking stories that impact the Northland most, turn to CBS3.
Catch Eye on Parenting every Thursday at 6 with me, Leanne Valdez, on CBS3.
Season 2 is
The
here,
Kelly
y'all.
Clarkson Show, weekdays at 3 on CBS3.
This generation of engineers have arrived on the Iron Range.
Classes are looking a little bit different this year at
Minnesota. This time, it's the president's son hoping to win.
Saving a man in the fire. The details tonight.
Coming up, we're unpacking the vice president's campaign.
Evelyn Gilbert in Virginia.
Coming up tonight, we hear from Wisconsin voters.
Tomorrow, I think it's going to be cooler than normal.
To stay up to date with the news and weather that impacts you and your community.
The Kelly Clarkson Show, right here.
Weekdays at 3 on CBS3. CBS3 Weather is brought to you by St. Luke's. Now, the CBS3 Duluth Weather Max forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Gorgeous day today thanks to high pressure making for a blue sky, and when sunset time rolled around, Nick Stoltman got this gorgeous shot of sunset over the Twin Ports. Very calm, very beautiful. Pictures like this will continue to pop up for several days. High pressure will control our sky probably through Friday and then slowly relinquish control over the weekend, giving way from sunshine to cloud, from dry towards rain, and from warm towards cool. But again, that process will take a little while, so enjoy this while you can. What did we enjoy today? Well, high temps near 70 at the airport in Duluth, and it's still 62 there. Relative humidity is 37%. Westerly southwesterly winds running 11 miles per hour, and our air pressure holding steady at 1,007 millibars, keeping the clouds at bay. Temperature-wise, we're eyeing up 57 in Watersmeet, 261 towards Ironwood and Hurley and Bessemer, 54 for Ashland and Odena, 53 right now in Hayward, and 60 degrees in Superior, mid-50s towards Moose Lake and Barnum, and then we're running anywhere from 38, one of our cool spots by the lake in Grand Marais, to 55 in Two Harbors, at least a little bit over the hill. 55 is also what they have in Ely, low 40s for the central parts of the Mesabi Range, but low 50s when you get to the end of it, at least the western end, and International Falls, current number 46. Low temps tonight, likely in the 30s for most towns, and by the lake, maybe a 40 or 2 is possible there. Current Doppler map shows clear sky, thanks to the high pressure. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan. No, we have to look up towards Ontario to see any cloud action, and a little bit of rain and snow mix earlier today, but that was very few and far away for our region. Again, with high pressure with control of the middle part of the U.S., we're looking at sunny and warm weather from Wednesday through Saturday. The change will start to come Saturday, perhaps, as clouds do start to go up, but it'll stay warm through Sunday. But this low-pressure system approaching from the west is going to bring a chance for a rain-snow mix from Sunday through Tuesday, starting Sunday with rain, and then cooling a bit towards a mix on Monday, and then the backside of the low with its cold front. By Tuesday, we're colder than normal, and there's a chance for some flurries. So this warm spell is not going to last forever. Tonight, we're getting Minnesota low temps to be as cool as 30 towards Hibbing and as warm as 40 on Park Point, with a partly cloudy sky up above all towns. Into Wisconsin and Michigan, partly cloudy there as well, with low temps in the mid to upper 30s. For tomorrow in Wisconsin and Michigan, I think the range of high temps will go from 62 in Superior to 64 towards Ironwood, with a mostly sunny sky and a westerly wind that'll run 5 to 15 miles per hour. On the Minnesota side of life, high temps inland 59 to 63. By the lake, 55 to 57 to maybe even 60 degrees. On all counts, warmer than normal as the highs continue to dominate the sky. Here's our extended forecast. Do look for sunshine through Friday, partial sunshine on Saturday. Temperatures warmer than normal through Sunday. But Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, those are the days of precip and the days of temperatures tumbling. We fall from 59 Sunday to 40 on Monday, down to only 32 come Tuesday.
Thanks, Dave. This election is projected to smash voter turnout records.
With so many Northlanders heading to the polls, we wanted to see what motivated them to cast a ballot this election cycle. CBS3's Alex Libby spoke with several voters to get their take.
Cloquet voter Heather Bryant went to the polls Tuesday to make her voice heard.
This whole country is run off of democratic processes, and if you don't speak up, it's not going to come to fruition.
Speaking up and having your voice heard is why most voters we spoke with went to the polls Tuesday. But Shanna Smith, who voted in Superior, says she cast a ballot not only so her voice was heard, but because she wanted to show her children that each and every vote will make a difference.
Your voice is important, and I feel that you need to feel that your voice is important, especially when I bring my kids. They need to understand that your individual voice should always be heard.
Smith says she is happy to see the large voter turnout this election and says it should be like this every year.
I actually don't think it's any more important this year than it is any other year.
But others say the stakes are just too high this year and voting is a must.
I would personally say this is probably the most important election we've seen in our modern history.
Eric Petaletti from Cloquet says not voting comes with consequences.
Whether if you're the right or for the left, you know, if you don't vote at all, then you don't have a right to complain about it.
In a time where most things seem out of your control, voters see Tuesday as a chance to grab the reins.
It takes one person to change the world in an awesome way, and it takes all of us together to change it and make real change around here.
In talking with voters both in Minnesota and Wisconsin, they say they were excited to see the large number of people who came out to vote.
Still ahead in sports, Wisconsin football will be on hold for another week. Kelly Hinsett is in next.
Duluth Casino is hiring. Apply today.
CBS3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
What do you do after you're the #1 selling brand of gas-powered handheld outdoor power equipment in America? You start making more equipment right here in America. Real steel. Find yours.
Hey ladies, are you tired of being cooped up? How about a girls' getaway? Get outside and play. Come to Ashland, Wisconsin and enjoy our beautiful scenery, yummy food, and our quaint little town. Be a kid again. Grab the girlfriends and spend a few days in Ashland. There's all sorts of things to do for big ones and little ones. Have some fun in Ashland, where you'll find yourself next to the water. Visit ashland.com.
What do you get when you add care from Essentia Health and coverage from UCare? Essentia Care, now available for a more affordable price. Essentia Care's Medicare Advantage plans have premiums that start at $0 per month in select counties. You'll be able to see your Essentia Health provider at our 15 hospitals and 71 clinics. Plus, Essentia Care plans allow you the freedom to see any provider who accepts Medicare. Compare and shop plans at ucare.org/EssentiaCare.
Moving to mornings, obviously, with Jenna, I had worked weekends with her, and it was great. We're always there to be able to still joke around, still have that personality, but still obviously bring the news, the weather.
Caitlin has been there since day one when I first started at CBS3, and she's super knowledgeable about meteorology. She loves it, and she's so interested in teaching other people things about it as well. And I just think we're such a good pair for that reason.
Watch Jenna and Caitlin in the morning at 5 and 6 a.m. on CBS3.
Mariah Haberman here from Discover Wisconsin. Join me and the rest of the crew every week on this station for all things Wisconsin. Continue the adventure on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and discoverwisconsin.com. Plus, subscribe to the Cabin Podcast, available wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
When a crisis strikes, cash is the best form of relief. It can easily be transformed into health services, water, food, or clothes. Cash can travel everywhere and aid people all around the world. Donate. Smart. Fast. Donate cash.
The Kelly Clarkson Show, weekdays at 3 on CBS3.
For the second straight week, the Wisconsin Badgers are looking at a football-less weekend due to COVID. Wisconsin has officially canceled Saturday's game against Purdue. The 10th-ranked Badgers have seen a rise in COVID cases on the team. The school confirmed today that 3 more players and 2 additional staffers have tested positive since Saturday, bringing the program's total number of active cases to 27. That includes 15 players and 12 staffers.
I felt we were doing the right things in getting our players isolated, putting them individually in rooms, and I was hopeful that we could corral this and be where we wanted to be. But I was never overconfident. This virus has been way too fickle, and it's been inconsistent. We haven't been able to put our finger on it.
And all team-related activities for Wisconsin remain paused indefinitely. Neither game will be rescheduled. Now, the Big Ten requires teams to play at least 6 games to be eligible for the league championship game. If the average number of conference games played by all Big Ten teams is below 6, programs must play no less than 2 fewer games to be considered for the league title. Wisconsin has 5 games remaining on its schedule before the league holds its Champions Weekend on December 19th. The Badgers' next scheduled game is on November 14th at Michigan. The NFL trade deadline has come and gone today, and right here was where I was hoping to tell you all about the moves that the Vikings and the Packers made before the clock ran out, but there weren't any. It was radio silence before the deadline for both Minnesota and Green Bay. Some fans were hoping that the Vikings would enter rebuilding mode, meaning they trade away some of their biggest weapons for future draft picks. Just an idea rolling around. The only trade that the Vikings did make that was noteworthy was sending Yannick Ngakoue to Baltimore last week for a pair of draft picks. As for the Packers, the buzz was that they were going after Houston Texans receiver Will Fuller. While in theory it would have been nice to have another weapon for Aaron Rodgers to throw to, a guy like Fuller would have eaten up almost half of the team's 2020 cap space. Switching gears to hockey, the Western Collegiate Hockey Association has yet to announce a plan to return to play for women's hockey, which means the UMD women's team is still practicing without a start date in sight. But today, thanks to the preseason polls, they have their preseason ranking. UMD checks in at number 8 in the USA Today USA Hockey Magazine poll, a place they have been before. The team finished in the same spot at the end of last year. They posted a 18-12-6 overall record a year ago and returned 4 out of 5 top scoring Bulldogs from last year. Here's how the rest of the top 10 shapes up. 4 WCHA teams cracked the poll, including UMD. Wisconsin checks in at number 1, Minnesota at number 4, and Ohio State at number 5. UMD, along with the rest of the Western Collegiate Hockey Association, will be announcing its fall schedule in the upcoming days. And that's going to do it for sports tonight. We'll have more here back tonight at 10. Kristen and Tony, I'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Kelly. And be sure to stick with CBS3 throughout the night tonight. We will be updating election results all the way up and down the ballots just about every half hour throughout the night, all the way up until the 10 o'clock news, where we hope to unpack any and all election results we might get. We hope to see you then. Thanks for joining us.
Hopefully we'll see you in about a half hour.